it's totally reasonable to go to an Azir or an Ezreal or whatever. But if you give up pressure in too many lanes against these top teams, then you end up in a situation where your jungler has nowhere to go, nothing to do, and they kind of get the run of the map. And that does depend more on your opponent's mistakes and out-team fighting them later on than it does on your own agency in the early game.
Well, Biofrost will not be able to play the Yuumi again here today. That will be banned out second by TSM as CLG gets rid of the Sejuani and the Aatrox.
Yeah, so kind of just targeting some of these more standard picks. Grig has been known in the LCS very heavily as a tank player. He does play carries in solo queue. He's an excellent solo queue player as well, but that has not really been how TSM have been using him. I am going to be interested to see if we kind of find any evolution of that, as definitely Acadium was playing very aggressive stuff, and they had a lot of success with that in spring. So will Ziggs kind of be making that change for them? But the early Taric pick tells me it's a very good chance of Sona Taric.
Yep.
But there are also other funnel strategies that are utilizing Taric these days in the mid lane, and we have seen, generally speaking, when people try to take the Sona away from the Sona Taric, they are the ones doing more poorly, because Sona is a champion that has been struggling outside of lane, and even when junglers show up and really starting to get picked on.
I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. Taric is an appetizer plate. He facilitates cheese. If you're going to play something like that, this is the guy you almost always want in your squad. TSM has that picked. I'm curious as to where it's going to go, but we have seen 3 out of 4 of the big flex picks, Irelia, Sylas, and Ryze, all banned away. The Akali still available up on the table. Neither side going for it early here. As you can see, CLG locking in the Varus first and foremost with 5 seconds left to go for that second pick, and they're going to go for something powerful in the jungle with the Rek'Sai.
I'm definitely expecting it to just be Sona Taric. Sven and Smoothie certainly do play that. I do think it is still a very, very strong strategy, but we have seen some teams struggling with it a little bit. Certainly even earlier today, C9 did win, but they were monstrously behind in that bot lane. They lost their entire turret, all plates, 2v2 at 10 minutes. We're also down about 50 plus CS when combining the bot lane CS. So we have seen it get punished, and it'll be interesting to see if CLG does draft something like a range support to try to really pressure this Sona Taric, because if you go for something like Morgana Varus, I think that can slam that bottom lane very, very heavily. It becomes difficult for them to look for any sort of engages with the Taric stun when you have the Black Shield available, and we know how much of a lane monster Varus can be.
Right, the Varus pickup for me said, yes, CLG is fully expecting Sona Taric. They're not going to try to deny it. They're going to try to beat it instead. And Varus Zyra is something that's going to make your laning phase miserable with the amount of range and poke and control they will have. The pickup from TSM that we didn't talk about yet either is the Hecarim in the jungle for Grig.
And the Hecarim pairs so well with this because it's guaranteed hard engage. You throw that Bastion over onto the Hecarim, you drop the ultimate, you drop the Dazzle for the stun as he's ulting in, and he's going to be delivered into that backline with a full damage build, immune to damage with that ultimate coming down. So that is what they are looking for. The Zyra is monstrously strong in the straight up 2v2. My concerns with the Zyra is that unlike something along the lines of Morgana, you do not have the ability of that Black Shield to protect yourself from the initiation. So if you get Flash Sona ulted or Flash Taric stunned or these types of initiations, even the Hecarim gets in on top of you, you can get popped instantly. But if they are unable to do that, it is a nightmare to engage into the Zyra through this wall of plants and the ultimate knockup.
TSM's bottom lane will definitely need all the healing in those kits to survive this one as we enter into the second part of the bans, and CLG is going to hit those solo lanes and hit them hard. TSM doing the same. Akali, Yasuo, LeBlanc, and Nico all banned out here as Stixxay does his classic hover, and we'll see what CLG actually wants to lock in here. It's more AoE AP power with the Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying we want a team fight, right? Let's go. They're going to look to try to match power with power. It feels very heavily. Sona Taric Hecarim wants a team fight also. You are kind of looking at the CLG lineup and feeling like, all right, as soon as you get level 6s, you are good to go. Sona certainly does maybe need a little bit more time to kind of scale up and get that going, but it feels like both these two teams are going with very similar strategies. Zillion tells me even more so. You have not only the speed up, but also now a revive for the Hecarim as he comes out of that Taric ultimate. The speed up also adds additional damage with that charge. They're drafting Jace, which gives you a little bit of poke and also a dominant top lane.
And more speed.
So it's, yeah, and even more speed with the acceleration gate. So certainly a tremendous amount of AoE. If we do see Victor get locked in, this is like all AoE ultimates across the board here pretty much for CLG, disregarding that Rek'Sai.
And this, the big thing that I'm seeing here, the thing that stands out to me more than anything about the TSM draft, you're putting Grig in, and you have not played with him for a while compared to the amount of stage time that Acadians got. But look at the faith they're putting in him. You have a horse funnel strategy where this horse has a big old funnel in his mouth and everybody's just stuffing as many buffs in there as they can get, and that horse is going to be massive. But if he ends up doing the wrong thing, goes in at the wrong time, times something incorrectly, gets too far past the rest of the team because he's so damn fast, it falls apart instantly.
Yeah, they do have a lot of faith in him. I mean, just the fact that they were one game away from MSI with Acadian and went back to Grig, they have been grinding hard, they have been practicing in these scrims, and they are putting their faith into Grig, you know, to be fighting for this starting spot. So certainly, they believe he can succeed, and we're going to get to see if he can really make good on that in this game here today.
That's what I like watching about week one. Watch teams come out with strategies that they're ready to debut, with something new that they want to do, some sort of a curveball. Yeah, put every egg in the Grig basket. See if he's able to bear that weight and make it so they're able to make this win happen. At the same time, though, CLG, man, this is a team fight comp if I've ever seen a team fight comp. You clump up on accident, you better hope Tarek's ulti is on, or else all of everybody's dead.
Yeah, the timing of the ultimates is going to be so critical. You know, you have to make sure, you know, on the side of CLG that you are able to burst people out before you have that Tarek ultimate landing, because if it does come down and is negating a lot of those AoE ultimates from CLG, that gets very difficult. One thing I will say works in their favor, though, is the fact that Zilean, while he can bring one person back up, that's great. But if your whole team is getting shredded through these AoE ultimates, who do you ult? When do you ult? That becomes very, very difficult. So how these teams navigate and how they utilize their cooldowns can completely shift what a team fight looks like. And we talked about, you know, Grig more known for those tank picks, but he is on the Hecarim. He's even going Ignite here, so a very aggressive setup that he has for himself, and this can give you more pressure in those early ganks.
It's an insane amount of pressure, but it's also an insane amount of pressure on you, because if you mess up, there is no way out. You have no ghost to be fast, just gallop away, have a good time, no flash to get over the wall, see you later, sorry didn't mean it.
Galloping is severely reduced.
You're galloping straight up to horsey heaven because there's no other way to go when this is your summoner spell loadout. Grig, it's time to put up or shut up as CLG invade the TSM jungle.
And the bright spot is, though, they can't kill you if you've already killed them.
That's the best form of defense. You won't take any damage if all the opponents are dead. As the wards will be placed down, a couple skill shots will be traded back and forth. And TSM will continue trying to hold the line here. Sven over the wall, just ready to throw out a couple of power chords. Biofrost having to eat a potion here as CLG are going to find themselves collapsed upon. This is a 4 versus 5. CLG are in some trouble. Flash is going to be used there, plenty of them.
And that is really good for TSM, but CLG are trying to reinvade. They're trying to use this Zyra. They brought in the Zyra, set up all these plants. They're looking to try to start a fight. Broken Blade is having to TP top lane at level 1, though. This is a crazy start to the game. 3 flashes were used from CLG.
Yeah.
Only the one on Smoothie, but now the TP is down for Broken Blade, so a lot to actually play out here. Neither team can take the red buff, so Grig is just going to go to the Raptors. I think this is a much smarter move. Instead of trying to contest for that red, you have a talisman. Just start Raptors. You can heal up very easily with that. And Wiggly is now going to be very much on the back foot. It's 2:15 when he starts his first Unleashed camp. So he is really going to be put behind.
Meanwhile, bottom side, Sven almost dies 2 versus 2, has to flash away to keep himself alive. Smoothie still has the heal. Not exactly where they wanted to be at the very beginning of this lane either. Azale, I hope this continues for a solid 30 minutes. This is exactly the way I want to see my League of Legends start off.
This is a nutty game already, so gonna be really, really exciting to see how it plays out. I want to see Wiggly getting up to the top lane. When there is a top laner, you know, we have Broken Blade who dropped his TP level 1. I want you to punish that lane. Force him to base. Even if you don't kill him, if you can make him have a bad base timing, he does not have the TP to actually recover from that. So that can be very difficult. As a result, you're seeing him hard shove the wave, reset it, go back to base to try to avoid any potential timing, but it's a 4-man play from CLG at 3 minutes bot lane. They're both level 1 on the side of TSM. They're gonna try to dive.
Wiggly and Power of Evil coming down here. Sven and Smoothie both hitting level 2 now critically. Heals and shields coming out, but there it goes. Teleport comes down. CLG still thinking about it. Gonna be backing away now. They got the TP. They're saying, all right, that's good enough. Nobody needs to die underneath the turret today. Get some poke on their way out, but man, that was close.
This is nuts. I mean, Wiggly was still level 2. He doesn't even have his tunnel. He was just gonna snake his way in there and try to burrow. So what a ridiculous game, and this does mean Grig gets full access to his jungle. Grig is now power farming the top side of Wiggly's jungle, so Wiggly is gonna be so far behind. And Power of Evil, this is a Hecarim with Ignite behind you, bud.
Oh, there comes your devastating charge. There goes your damage, and there goes your mid laner. It's first blood for Bjergsen.
Wow, getting first blood there. Doesn't even have to drop the Ignite. That is gonna feel so good for TSM. Power of Evil will TP immediately back to lane, but remember, he didn't have flash from the level 1 play, so this is just a ridiculous game already. They committed so much to trying to put the bottom lane behind. You know, they were looking for this dive, and had they pulled it off, it would have been brilliant because, you know, TSM had picked up essentially no farm previous to when that dive was looking, but they weren't able to do it, and now Smoothie and Sven stabilizing somewhat here.
And you can see Grig standing perfectly
go.
still there, making sure he didn't get seen while also being in a good spot to make the gank happen. Ruin waiting on the flash, making sure he didn't put himself in a bad spot for the knockback angle, gets away to the safety of the turret.
Yeah, he is able to escape, but that's another flash down. And this horse is really outpacing. Here it is one more time. We had Grig coming in from behind. Power of Evil did not know he was there. Without the flash, you are absolutely boned in this vision. There's no way you're going to escape that. So just a well-played gank, and getting first blood onto Bjergsen is going to feel really good.
And as we have this game that is posing so many questions for us so far, if you have any questions for PoE and Biofrost, reply to the @LOL Esports tweet, and we will select some of our favorites when they join Freak and Kobe on the LCS cooldown after the games. But now, we've got more action here in the top side as Wiggly makes the flash knock-up play on a Broken Blade, looking to bring him down. One more turret shot would make it a trade kill, but it will not happen today, and CLG are on the board.
Yeah, well done there from CLG. Finally punishing Broken Blade, and remember, he still has no TP. He had expended that flash, so Wiggly able to trade out his flash. They do get the kill, and pretty well played by Broken Blade, knocking Wiggly towards the turret. That was his best chance at getting a trade kill there, but not going to be able to cash in on it. And Stixay and Biofrost might get a kill here.
Boy, the damage is true, and Stixay makes it a 2-1 game for CLG.
And this bot lane from CLG is off to a really good start in this summer split. Yesterday with the Yuumi and Sivir looking great. Now bringing out Varus, Zyra, very aggressive picks to try to answer this Sonateric, and they are looking good so far. When you're comparing the CS, it's really about adding the total CS of these two bot lanes to compare. You don't just compare the marksman, but here is Smoothie one more time. Biofrost has the pink, which is going to allow him to kind of threaten out of the bush with the roots a lot more easily, but doesn't even need to. Smoothie just gets tagged there. No flash available. Ignite is dropped, and he is shredded.
Not where TSM wants to see their lifeguard going right now, as Wiggly will clean up that Scuttle Crab in the bottom side of the river there, put some more money in his own pocket, is staying pretty on par with Grig in terms of farm, which is good considering the rocky start he had after playing Try to Steal the red buff to no success for the first minute or so, but he'll go into the enemy jungle, he'll set up around the red buff, throw down some wards. You know that that's going to be spawning before too much longer. Grig is level 5, not quite level 6 on either one of these junglers yet. But you've always got to remember that Grig has the Ignite. Bjergsen's going to eat himself a Prey Seeker missile there, but that's all. But here comes Grig. Wiggly stunned up, in a lot of trouble. There's Grig, looking to drop some damage. Shockwave gets thrown down. Wiggly trying to get himself away, but he is under the bus, and that is money in Grig's pocket.
Yeah, Wiggly, very bold move to actually try to clear out that pink ward. You had been spotted, you didn't know where Hecarim was, and he gets punished.
Bottom side, though, Biofrost just going to be beaten down. Smoothie's showing exactly what Terry can do. He's got so much damage. The spells just let him go bonk, bonk, bonk. It's a little whack-a-mole with Biofrost.
He just beat his ass down.
That was ruthless from Smoothie. He had some vengeance to take.
Yeah, Biofrost still had the flash available. He just got smacked, and that is a pretty big kill going the way of TSM, who had been getting bullied very, very heavily. Now they got the flash on 6A2, and it's back to the top side.
Broken Blade trying to knock away Wiggly, make sure he doesn't get knocked up into the air, but the equalizer provided enough time for CLG to get the kill anyway. That is the second death on TSM's top laner.
Yeah, well played, pulling off those ganks, attacking Broken Blade on this Jace, and he will have TP backup for this one, which is kind of a saving grace, so he'll be able to pick up some of this farm. But it's always scary to TP back in with the potential of a dive being threatened. This won't happen here, but you know, Ruin being able to itemize so heavily towards armor, that's one of the real benefits of playing Rumble into this matchup. You can go for things like tabbies into a Seekers if you really feel like it. And it can be pretty tough to actually punish that Rumble if you were not doing well in the early game.
At the same time, if you're the Zilean, the Sona, and the Taric, you're a little bit relieved to not see the Sorcerer's Shoes in the Rumble, so you won't be melted as hard in the team fights. But let's take another look at what happened to Biofrost down here.
It just gave him the smack, man. Just came out of the bush. Every time you cast a spell, you get 2 empowered autos. I like the bonks. Keep them going. And then you have Stixxay here getting chased down. That was a good sidestep from Stixxay. If that hits, he would have been dead. Just the move speed is the only thing really that kept him alive there, but some of your finest play-by-play, I think.
I had to try to do what you see in some of the craziest Korean casting replays where the one guy just does the sound effects for the skills. There wasn't really any skills, it was just bonking, so I had to improvise a little bit there. But yeah, I'm trying to incorporate new styles into my technique here, Azale. But we'll see if CLG is able to incorporate some plays into the mid lane. It hasn't gone well for him so far. Wiggly not finding too much success around there, but is still making things happen overall. Sven thrown up into the air. Stixxay can't get that last auto attack. Sven
comes the
just
horde.
now hitting level 6. Greg's making his way into the fight. There he goes. Your onslaught of shadows will take Stixxay down.
And that was perfectly placed with the ultimate. Greg just behind Stixxay, so the fear pushes him back. Then the devastating charge shoves him even further back into the team. And now when you start to fall behind as this type of lane, when you start getting punished, it is so tough because you can execute the all-ins on these low mobility characters time and time again. Every time Hecarim has ult, you can just do that.
Yeah, that's not what CLG wants to look at because neither of these guys have mobility. Rumble has no mobility. Orianna has no mobility. If Hecarim can do whatever he wants, run into your back line and get those angles for the devastating charge, these team fights are not going to be sustainable for your team fight comp.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to remember, it can get even scarier when the Taric ultimate is coming down, when you drop a bomb on the horse's head as he's running in. That can actually be a significant amount of added damage coming through from Zilean. Similar to what we see with Nocturne, where they would throw one bomb down, Nocturne would ult in. You can do the same thing here with the Hecarim, and that means an added up to 600 damage really coming through in the later stages of the game.
I like seeing what Wiggly's doing here. He took the tunnel over the wall to take the Rift Herald. TSM did have scuttle control, so because they never saw anyone enter the pit, they're not too worried about it, but CLG will manage to sneak this one away. One more hit onto the eyeball, plus the smite secures it, and we'll see if they can get success with that one, because we have seen Shellys be both incredibly useful, but also, unfortunately, sometimes not when teams can't find the right opportunity to drop them in time.
Yeah. Not all Shellys are created equal, unfortunately.
Yeah, some Shellys just have to spawn up in the lane, headbutt the turret, and then die for no reason. But looks like we're going to get some value out of this one from CLG on the top side. Greg is making his way up here, though. So Ruin will stick around long enough to grab some of the plate money, but now he needs to get out of town. Greg will just manage to cut Shelly down before she can do any more damage to the structure, and at least they got the plate money for it.
Yeah.
If that was post 14 minutes, I don't think that's a very good Shelly, but considering you're grabbing 320 gold for it there, I'll take it.
I like it actually quite a bit, especially because of the matchup that you're doing it in. Whoop.
Ooh. We didn't see that.
Look away, observers.
That didn't happen.
Hide their shame.
This is not the play you're looking for. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, Jace has to win early, generally, to have fun in League of Legends, right? So you're putting added gold onto Ruin here, which is going to make it harder for Broken Blade to really kind of have that success in the 1v1. So you can see that gold advantage, 700 plus in the top lane. Certainly a large amount of that is because of the 2 plates that Shelly just grabbed for him. And Wiggly kind of just donated that over. He drops the Rift Herald, walks away, so all of that gold is going into his solo laner, and you're trying to get Rumble to a really strong point. Level 11, good items. You want to be ready for these potential team fights, especially when Infernal is the dragon that is sitting up there ready to go. Because I do think we are going to get a fight for this. This is not something that either team is really going to be happy to give up, especially the side of CLG, where it's exceptionally rare in Pro League of Legends to have 5 damage dealers on a team. Even Zyra's building AP, so everyone on their squad really wants that Infernal Dragon.
Chad team needs a Chad Dragon.
Exactly.
Making everything work out with the synergy, but top side, you can see Broken Blade, he has a Serrated Dirk in inventory, but because his opponent has Ninja Tabbies, it's not nearly as effective as it would be if he wasn't able to itemize that armor early on. You can see the Merc Treads also picked up nice and early here for Broken Blade, along with that Hex Drinker to make sure that the Rumble damage will not be just completely catastrophic when he manages to land those equalizers into the Flame Spitters. Wiggly is bottom side, though. Control Ward over the wall is going to see that TSM Control Ward. Doesn't want to go in just yet. With Grig hanging out nearby, this is a 3 versus 3 that could go very, very poorly for CLG if they're not able to blow someone up instantly. 2.5 seconds. Remember, that is the time that they need for Cosmic Radiance to come down on Taric and grant everyone invulnerability. That's the amount of time you have to reduce one of these health bars to 0.
And that's why you see Heal and Guardian being taken by Smoothie. You can use Bastion. They're actually making a 4-man play. They're going in.
Here comes the teleport. Biofrost manages to get himself out. Stixxay is going to be in some trouble. Smoothie barely kept alive. The 2.5-second timer is not in time. Wiggly's not quite able to find what he needs before they can keep their ally alive. Bjergsen now trying to get himself away because the attack is coming back from CLG. Trying to put some more on the ground. Grig's already going to be dropped. Ruin's able to find himself that kill. Bjergsen also going to be taken down. Power of Evil's responsible there, and that is going to be multiple bodies in the dirt for the side of TSM. CLG go 4 for 2.
CLG have the extra man coming down to the play. Ruin TP's in, and Broken Blade just now has his teleport available, so they are going to lose heavily on that fight. They tried to really force it, but CLG respond quickly. They get all those kills, they get the turret, and they are going to get the Infernal Dragon. This is a massive swing in the game here for CLG.
Absolutely huge. Wiggly doesn't need any help grabbing this one. As you already said, when everybody needs damage, the damage Drake just feels so darn good to have in your pocket. 3-0-2 on Ruin's Rumble now. You mentioned before the game started, CLG's doing a good job playing to their import style. He's ready to style on people.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he's out to a huge advantage at this point of the game. Here is the engage one more time. It did look like the Dazzle missed. Yes, Stixxay again, great sidestep. The fear here was flashed over by Biofrost, so he's getting feared away from the team. Stixxay does go down, and as the ultimate expires, you can see Bjergsen actually uses it on Smoothie to bring him back up, but that is a fairly low-value target that is getting rezzed. Biofrost escapes out the back, and when Ruin comes in, him and Wiggly got so much damage done. There was not enough burst to really knock through that Scrap Shield. And the Scrap Shield was constantly coming back up and getting a tremendous amount of value for Ruin, and now he's here roaming to mid lane.
Bjergsen, ulti pop to keep him alive. Resurrection's gonna come through. CLG needs to time the CC right, and the chains of corruption will tether him to an early grave. Bjergsen seeing black and white, and CLG now have their 8th kill.
That was a picture-perfect ultimate there from Stixxay. Timed it so damn well. And Ruin is so ridiculously strong, they're looking for Grig now!
Oh, Grig's gonna be turned into Void Monster food. It's Biofrost who collects the kill on it, but taking down that horse is huge for the side of Counter Logic Gaming. They're gonna grab themselves their 2nd turret. They're looking at the 3rd.
Yeah, they can keep pushing. No reason they can't. Just running it down mid lane at this point. This Rumble is just enormous. You know, he's 2K ahead of Broken Blade at this point in the game. Full of your injuries, plus he's building up some spell pen additional to those tabbies. So he's going to be such a huge threat. You are seeing Power of Evil get to a very strong point. Blade of the Rune King is now completed for Varus. So from this point out, CLG just wants to fight. These guys are online. They are ready to go. They don't want TSM to have time to get the Triforce onto Grig, to get more items over onto Broken Blade, you know, for this bot lane duo to get tanky enough that they really start to kind of scale and become very, very powerful. And they're going to look to force these fights constantly. And this is just a nice roam here from Ruin. Power of Evil whiffs on the Shockwave, but just gets absolutely roasted down. And this ultimate could not have been timed any better. There was not a single chance for Bjergsen to move.
You can see Power of Evil's like, boy, I'm glad that's not me.
Yeah. I didn't even have to hit my ultimate, did you see? And then a nice ulti here, following up from Wiggly, knocks down Grig, and CLG are looking really, really good, but you can't count TSM out because they have such incredible scaling in this composition.
All right, Isaac, we're gonna play a little game. It's called I Spy with My Little Eye. I spy with my little eye something that is red.
Okay.
What is red?
Control ward.
No, that was a really bad guess.
Ignite.
Infernal Drake is the next one that's going to be spawning as well.
It's red.
Which means if CLG, he's red, look at him in the corner. But if CLG can manage to maintain control of this game for the next few minutes like they are right now, that's even more neutral objectives playing towards their win condition, making it so that 2.5-second window is easily attainable to blow somebody up before Cosmic Radiance.
So the more I think about it, I like your answer a lot more anyway. It's much more exciting.
Yeah, what if they were using like a penguin skin for the control ward? Uh-oh, it's Grig into the mid lane. CLG's mid laner in some trouble, and this time you are the one on the receiving end, my friend. Power of Evil taking a dirt nap as TSM grab themselves kill number 7.
Yeah, nice punch back there from TSM. You want to see them executing on that. when Hecarim has the ultimate, go aggressive, look for these plays. You group up, and it's such a powerful 4-man squad. Yes, Jace is not that strong right now, but if Jace can actually keep Ruin in his side lane, you're going to be feeling very good about that 4v4 still because of the synergy among these champions. It's so incredibly strong, and we'll see how well CLG can kind of absorb those punches and how consistently TSM can get out on the map to look for them. Because as you say, setting up around this next Infernal is going to be critical. And when I am looking at the minimap right now, that is looking like that is all CLG. This whole line of vision all the way down here, like that is all CLG. TSM is going to have to be able to kind of move forward and try to get some sort of a look at this area because you cannot face check into this squad.
TSM minimap vision right now looks like what streamers do to hide the fact that you can't see anything in their jungle. The whole thing is just completely dark. No vision for these guys around. Gonna have to be very careful if you step into a CLG trap with a bunch of AoE waiting, jaws wide for TSM to walk near it. But remember, we're almost level 11 for the bottom laners of TSM, which means upgraded Crescendo, upgraded Cosmic Radiance. That much more important for making these team fights work out and surviving the CLG onslaught. But Drake is spawning here in under 20 seconds.
Yeah, the Drake is coming up. You can see Bjergsen did face. He's now grouped up with the squad, so they are going to be looking to move in as a 5-man team, but you do not know where anyone is.
Oh, there comes your Wombo combo. The damage goes through, but now it's going to be Stixay who's in some trouble from TSM, but they do a good job. They weather the storm, and the heals from Tarek and Sona bring them right back up to full. Yeah. But Ruin is waiting. Smoothie ends up face-checking right towards the Rumble. Cosmic Radiance comes down. That's the cooldown CLG was waiting for. Grig goes into the back lines. It's Biofrost in danger, slammed to the ground by Broken Blade. Wiggly wants to get away over the wall, and he will do so, but it's already a 1-for-0 for the side of Team Solomid. We'll see if they can find anything else, if they are just going to go for the Drake or not. Ruin, no equalizer ready to go. CLG still thinking about maybe trying to fight for this one, but there's no smite available. It's going to be stolen anyway. Power of evil, power of steel. He gets that Drake. They'll lose their top laner for it, but it's a pretty big secure.
That is actually enormous, and we'll see if TSM can get anything else off of this, but you didn't even have your jungler there.
Wiggly's trying to get away from Grig right now. Conqueror Hecarim is not the kind of target you want to stand there and fight. Even if he is low on mana, you only have about 400 HP, not enough to really work with here. Power of Evil trying to hold on to the mid lane tier 1. Shockwave's can throw Bjergsen back a little bit there. Biofrost follow-up will not find the mark. TSM strike back though.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they do win that fight, but I would say as CLG, you're laughing coming out of that with another Infernal. You're going to be feeling really good with the composition they have and the position they were put in. They had no business getting that. You know, Grig not able to use that smite, no one able to actually zone them out. That was essentially a 5v3 kind of in that area. You don't even need to make that a 50-50 or even a 90-10. It should be 100-0. You can actually turn and take that fight and push them back. Guarantee you got that dragon, but unfortunately for TSM, they do give it up. But we have seen the ability for TSM to win these fights now. Despite the fact that the initiation was made from CLG, not all 5 of their members were there when they hit that Shockwave and Zyra ultimate. You know, they didn't have the follow-up damage coming from Ruin. They didn't have it from Stixay. And as we saw, if you don't actually get that initial kill, it can get turned around. And here's the Pro View replay. Power of Evil is looking for this. And again, this is essentially a 5v2. Wiggly is over the wall, zoned out. He just walks in QW, takes it away.
And then he gets knocked back to the wall. He can flash over to safety, doesn't even pay for it with his life. The TSM now have control over the Baron area. They've got some wards down in there, clearing out some of the vision from CLG. Down less than 1,000 gold now, not accounting for the stat bonuses in the Infernal. Drake's owned by Counter Logic Gaming. Leandri's Torment also completed now for PoE. Remember, the big thing you want to see from CLG in these fights is everybody being able to ult at the same time.
Also, critically, Morello's now down. So you have that Morello's for Ruin. That is going to mean a lot of healing reduction from this team. That is so much coming through with the Sona, with the Tarek. But they're stacking a lot of Leandries, and those dots do not actually stack. They already have 2, and they're building a 3rd. So I think that is something that isn't, you know, kind of quite optimal.
Yeah.
Not sure if it's really going to kind of play into who wins this game, but TSM is grouped up and is going to look for an engage here.
There goes Grig. Stixay with the flash over the wall, keeping himself in a good enough spot. Biofrost going to be caught out, throws down the Stranglethorns, keeping TSM at bay, if only for a moment. TSM are the ones who come out on top of the fight, though. That's a 1 for 0, and the heals will bring them right back up.
Exactly, and they got 3 key ultimates off of CLG. The Equalizer is down, Zyra is dead, no ultimate, as well as the flash and ultimate from Stixxay. So then you heal back up, you take a slower fight, and you can look to re-engage, honestly, at this point of the game. You know, they can try to force those fights. They still have Zillion ult, they still have Sona ult. You know, TSM is kind of showing how well you can execute on these little engages. The Zyra is very, very squishy. Honestly, Biofrost might need to pick up a stopwatch and look to defend himself a little bit more with his itemization, because I think that's such an easy play to rinse and repeat.
Yeah. Especially considering, I mean, you look at your Zyra, you've got mobility boots. What's going to happen? As soon as you take a little bit of damage, the bonus falls off. You're a sitting duck. There's no defensive bonuses on that item at all. Really difficult to keep yourself away from Brig, who's 4, 2, and 5 on this Hecarim, has the Warrior, has the Trinity Force, a stopwatch of his own, so even if he goes too deep, he can stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, he has Taric ultimate, you know, into stopwatch, or stopwatch, you know, into Taric ultimate. The Zillion ultimate is still available, likely after that. You know, CLG are going to have to be really, really well coordinated to get these kills before Taric ult can come down, and that's why it's beneficial for TSM to be the ones engaging. If you're the ones choosing the fight, you just drop the Taric ultimate as Hecarim is running forward.
Yep.
It is much more difficult to time that out if you are on the receiving end of that engage.
And we've seen TSM do that. TSM have been in control of the fight for the past 5 minutes or so, and CLG's comp does not look good when they're not able to dictate a team fight. It's the entire reason they drafted these champions. CLG hang out in this brush. Looking to get a chance to go after somebody. They won't find their CC, though. The lockdown from Biofrost, critically not finding the target in Brig. CLG still looking for the opportunity to get some poke over the wall as they regroup towards their 2-2.
Yeah, and you can see the waves are all kind of pushing here for TSM. You look at those side lanes, this is shoving up there, wave at the turret down here. They are in full control across the map right now and can move now back towards the Baron, take away this vision, clear out these pink wards. And it's CLG who is going to have to respond more quickly to answer some of those side waves.
TSM continue to be slightly past the midpoint of the map. CLG the ones who feel under pressure. As Ruin will move towards the bottom lane, get that wave pushing out as quickly as he can. Level 14 to the level 15 of Broken Blade, who has been spending most of his time in the solo lanes. TSM over to the Cloud Drake. CLG not willing to contest this one. It's not another Infernal. They don't feel like it's worthwhile. Instead, they'll take the opportunity to move over towards the Baron Pit, try to take some control of that one in terms of vision, but Bjergsen keeps Wiggly away.
And they've also got to fix all the waves, right? You can see Power Viva went up to top, Rune went down to bot. They want to get these waves pushing in the right direction, so they're going to take that time to do that, reset, and look to try to set up for a good fight. They really do need to be able to execute on a perfect fight here against TSM, because TSM now feels fully in their comfort zone. Sona has a couple items. You can see that Taric is getting tankier and tankier, closing in on the Abyssal Mass, which is going to make him so hard to burst down before the ultimate can come through. And Triforce is long since completed here for Drake, so he is looking good at this point in the game.
Ruin will continue farming up here in the bottom side, stack more and more AP as much as you can possibly get into this rumble. Biofrost been struggling to hit a lot of abilities with the Zyra recently. We haven't seen a lot of those roots connect in the previous things that CLG has tried to do to stop engages or go for picks. Brig will be going after that Scuttle Crab himself, secures it before Wiggly's able to try to snipe it out there with the Prey Seeker. Wiggly is on top of a control ward. Wants Power to be able to come over there, take it out with a couple of ranged auto attacks so he doesn't have to risk his own life killing it. Ward over the wall, still going to make sure they can see that control ward. CLG being very cautious about how they move forward here. The TSM may be deciding to go in. Grig is hella fast.
God. Yeah, that is the Zillion speed up here. You know, there's already 3 points in that time warp.